Our next guest is a Tony-nominated and Emmy Award-winning actress you know from films such as The Truman Show and Legally Blonde, and shows such as The Practice and Two and a Half Men. She's currently starring in The Stand-In, which is in select theaters on demand and on digital now. Please welcome to the show, Holland Taylor, everybody. How are you, Holland?
I'm thrilled to be here. I can't believe I've never been on your show. I'm so glad to see you this way.
I know. I am both thrilled that you're finally here and heartbroken it's not in person. It has been a very long time since I saw you in person, and that time was in an airport. And while I feel you were happy to see me, you were far happier to see my dog.
Well, as a matter of fact, I just found out you're on Instagram because up until now I've been following your dog. You're also a presence.
Yeah, she's got a real social media following. This is a video that you and Sarah Paulson took, right? That we're going to show?
Yes, I believe so. The fastest tail wagger in history.
Here it is. I mean, obviously she's a fan of yours. Look how Frisbee reacted.
Hello, 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 hello. Hi.
Yeah, when I told her you were coming on tonight, she waved the tails, knocked over a glass of water. It was a mess.
You know, we actually go to that page and look at pictures of her every so often. It's very soothing. She's so darling. She's the most delicious dog.
She's going to be so happy to hear this because ever since we had kids, she feels like she is not getting this level of attention.
My favorite picture of her is when she's on it's from behind the couch and you just see her head just tilted. Great distance in a beautiful big room.
You and Sarah just got a dog through this time that I think a lot of people wisely have chosen canine companionship during this difficult year.
Yes, it's wonderful. There's a dog park right catty corner from my house, and most of the dogs being walked there are new to that family. They're puppies, they're young dogs, and they've been rescued. They're almost all rescue dogs, and it's a thing in this pandemic. I'm sure all over the country there's lots of new puppies. And not only that, but these young dogs have had an unusual amount of time with their parents because most people are home. So it's a great beginning for a lot of millions and millions of dogs.
Did you guys become fast friends, you and the dog? Did you take to each other immediately?
Oh, yes. I mean, this is not as darling as Frisbee in a way, because she has her standoffish ways. She's a mixed bag, as we all are.
Very fair. You've had a lot going on this year, which is a strange thing to have at a time where you also can't go out and promote it in person. You have this film, Hollywood with Ryan Murphy, the Bill and Ted movie. How have you enjoyed not having to leave the house for press, or have you found it difficult?
Not really. First of all, I mean, it's been a frightening year, hasn't it? I mean, we've all been in an odd emotional state, and so you retreat your home. Well, you have to stay in your home, and it should feel safe. But of course, you have to go on talk shows, and you have to do a lot of press. Because I had about 5 things have opened, or 5 or 6 things, and to be in your house seeking safety and comfort, and then having to get your slap on and appear on television is a very strange experience because there's no place safe. Also, I never wear makeup at all during this whole year, except when I'm doing something like this. So I put makeup on and I see myself and I look like, you know, an ancient hooker still working in Vegas. It's a shock from what I usually do.
That's important. As long as you're still working, that's the important thing.
Still working, baby. I'm about to go to work on something too. I'm going to be working in Pittsburgh for like 6 weeks. That's going to be something during this pandemic. But
that's great, and we're obviously very exciting. Another thing that was exciting, and I know it's sort of put on pause now. You played Ann Richards in a play called Anne. That was your idea, and you were about to do it in California for the first time. Is that, of the roles you've played, does that one hold a special place in your heart?
Well, that one really, it wasn't a job, it was a mission. I didn't think of it like an idea. It really flooded over me truly like an inspiration. The only thing that ever happened like that in my life to me. I was in my 60s, so that's really remarkable. And it was a very long process, years in the creation, and I did it all over the country, on Broadway certainly. And it was, I wanted that a great American patriot to be known and still around to inspire people, because she does. So that is my greatest achievement of my life, that is for sure. And I don't think of it as a job.
I know you were lucky enough to get to know Ann Richards, who is the governor of Texas, and you also then had to do, I think when you decided this was a play you were going to do, a great amount of research on her.
The research is where I got it all. And for some reason, I don't know, everybody around her felt that I could do this. And the doors were open. And I've become very good friends with a lot of her closest people who were friends and also part of her administration, one and the same. And I really deep dive for about 3 years before I put pen to paper. And I just hoped that if I created like a hologram of her, that some of the inspiration would come along with it. And it did. And so when people see me on the street and they compliment me on that, it's so great because they don't say you were so great. They say, I saw your play. I was so inspired. She was so great. That's exactly what I wanted. So I was very lucky.
Did you do it? Did it premiere in Texas? Was that the first place you did
Yes, we did it in Galveston, Texas. The first time at the Opera House there. And we did it at the Paramount in Austin. Then we did it at the Empire in San Antonio. And then we did it at the Great Schubert in Chicago, which is a great theater town. And then we did it at the Kennedy Center. That was a great invitation. That was truly thrilling on the main stage there. And then we did it at Lincoln Center.
Were the stakes higher for you doing it in Texas for the first time, a place where people were maybe the most familiar with her, obviously?
I was terrified, and I got much better. I mean, I worked with a dialect person always, and I was also constantly refining the play and working on it. So I would learn a great deal every run. And I also had to always shorten it because you have to keep it very tight as we headed towards Broadway. And so when I opened it, I was terrified because I was opening it in her backyard. And the play started and I literally heard a gasp in the audience. And that's Paul Huntley's wig, I think, got that. And it was open sesame from there on. For some reason, they just said, yeah, we're buying this.
That's so exciting, and that's such wonderful feedback to get from fans. I also want to ask, because you had such a diverse career, a storied career that's ranged everywhere from drama to comedy. Is there something specific that people most approach you about when they see you on the street? Legally
Blonde is probably the most because of that line. If you're going to let one stupid prick ruin I can't even say it. That wonderful line. If you let one stupid prick ruin your life, you're not the girl I thought you were. Something like that. People love that.
It is certainly a multi-generational good piece of advice.
It's a great role. It's wonderful to play a great teacher, which she was.
Well, it is been such an honor to have you here. I really do appreciate you giving us the time, and thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. And would you please tell Frisbee she's a very good girl?
I might just play the tape because it's so much better coming from you than it is from me.